Okay guys, so Sean here, back with another video here on Talk Up TV, and today we are taking a look at the 6-month review of the Skoda Enyaq 2025. This is in black, of course, with 19-inch wheels, do up to 21s. So I've done an overall review. I've done an actual review of the car with regards to, what can I say? Just doing an all-round review of the car. So what we'll do is we'll get it started up. Just get that down, otherwise I shall be the volume down there. Sorry. Yeah. So let's do a review of the car then. So I just want to get one thing set up. So I'll be just with you in 2 secs. Okay. Welcome back. Right. So we're sitting in my Skoda Enyaq 2025. It's the bigger battery, so it's called the 85. It actually has a 77 kilowatt hour battery in it, so that's the size of it. Really, it's called the 85. I don't know why they call it the 85 because it doesn't have an 85 size battery in it. But I just want to go over a review really of the 6 months since I've had the car, and kind of how it's sort of been, how it's been and everything like that. And yeah, just go from there really. So I won't do an overall review of the interior and exterior and all that kind of stuff. We'll do a little walk around and I'll show you some features, a little bit like I did on the BYD update, because there are other videos on the channel where you can go and get the more in-depth things, because it just makes these videos very, very long. And I'm conscious that people don't want to really be sitting around, watching these videos for hours and hours and hours. So I kind of get that really. So yeah, Enyaq, it's a really good car. It's as simple as that, really. Probably end of video. No, no cars are perfect, of course, and we have to factor all of that in. But what's this car like to drive? What's it like as a road tripping car? What's it like to chuck the luggage in, your shopping in, do your day-to-day stuff in? Well, it's just brilliant. I mean, that is essentially that's it. It really is brilliant. The thing about this car, really, sorry about this, I'm just trying to get my positioning right on the camera side of things a bit. That's not very good, is it? Yeah, so, well, what I can say about it as a car is all round, it's just tremendous. I mean, it's so well tuned, it's so well refined. It's just a beautiful car to drive. They really, really are. And I've said this in other videos. If you're after this type of size of vehicle, so going from a class C to a class D car in that kind of area, which is a lot of cars. I mean, loads and loads and loads of cars are in that sector. Anything from a Peugeot 208 up to 508, I guess, really. As just one example. But there's so many. The ID4, VW ID4 will come into this. I mean, there's so many cars. I could be here all day. This is the biggest class of cars, the most popular class of car, and it's because they're people carriers and they're people haulers, and that's what they are. So it's just really, really amazing. So there aren't many negatives. One thing is the boot. I might show you a bit later. It has I mean, you can turn it off, but it's got a kick sensor, so you just kick it, and if you've got bags of shopping in your lugging around, you just kick the kick sensor. Make sure I'm all plugged in and on. Yep. And the boot opens. Now the issue here is if you get a step a little bit close, which you need to kind of sometimes do to reach the back of the car, back of the boot, as it were, to put bags in and things like that. Sometimes your foot can pick up the sensor again and it comes down, but it comes down quite rapidly. And it's happened to me where it's hit me on the top of the head. Now, it doesn't have a sensor to stop before it hits something. It only has a sensor when it actually hits. So if it comes in contact with you, the boot will stop. So it's not going to crush you or anything. But of course, it can give you a fairly nasty whack, as happened to me. So be careful with that. If you get one of these Enyaqs, I think it might be in all level, might be in all levels. You've got the kick sensor. I'm not sure, It's quite handy to have. I mean, if you're coming out like today, it's been raining on and off, and earlier I went to pick up some shopping, and so I just came out, put my foot under the kick sensor, boot comes open, stuff in, press the button, down it comes. Or you can kick sensor it again if you want. It's a very, very good kick sensor on it, in the sense that, you don't need to be sometimes you see people at the back of their cars and they're doing all of this, going foot under, foot under, foot under, trying to find the right point for the sensor. But this one's really good. You don't need to do too much on that. Just as long as your foot's under the car and you just swipe across like that, up she'll go. And it'll make a little alarm as well, so you know it's going to happen. um, so yeah, so that's one downside to it. The other downside to it is probably, these are just the way, to just get those out of the way, is the cup holders are pretty small. So they don't fit anything over probably just a normal sized coffee cup in there. They do have these studs in the bottom, which are really handy for, let me just get the bottle a minute, quite handy for bottles, because they grip the bottle. So if it's in there and you want to, let's get it in, set in there properly, and you want to take off a lid, oh, this one's not open, it has to be opened already. So just open the lid a minute. So I'm going to demonstrate this. Yeah, it won't open a closed lid, but it'll open a locked lid, if you know what I mean. So if you closed it and you're driving along, fancy some water, you can just literally unscrew that. It stays in place, and you can have your drink that way. So you don't actually have to take it out of there to try and start faffing about while you're driving. So if you're thirsty and you're driving along, you can do that quite easily. So that's kind of good. But outside of that, as you can see, that's quite a small bottle, and I mean that's filling up the whole of that really. So just bear that in mind. This does come out, but I don't think it really does very much, really, because it still doesn't have the width either. I'm trying to think if I've ever used it without that in with a coffee cup or not. I don't think so. So I'd have to try that maybe to see if that makes it a bit easier for a larger cup. But you've got that there anyway. Um, these are cooled, but I haven't found them to cool very much. They still tend to, in my opinion, overheat. So, which is a bit of a problem on these, of course. Well, not on this particular car, but I mean cars in general. They tend to overheat on the things. But again, with most of these things, the fastest way to charge your car is with this anyway. By plugging that in, you offset all of that. So that's what I tend to do. It's quite a fast charger. I think it's something like a 60 watt, 50, 60 watt, something like that. The aircon vents are brilliant. You can get them just lined up just right. The aircon itself is superb as well, for either heating or cooling. Mostly I've been using it for cooling, of course, because since I've had this car, it's been mostly warmer weather. So we'll see in the winter how the heater does. But it seems to work quite well. So these are just little things I'm showing you, really. On entry, it has keyless entry. So as you approach the vehicle, the car unlocks. You step in, put your foot on the foot brake down there, and you're good to go. Just literally put it in reverse, and off you go. Or, well, in my case, reverse, because I'm facing a bush. Otherwise, you just put it to drive and drive off, whatever. That's all really good. That works really well. And when you walk away from the vehicle, it locks. As long as you're not too long. I think if you open the door or something and you're there for a little while, then you close it and walk away. Sometimes the sensor's already gone, so it doesn't tend to work. But if you just stop the car, get out of it, walk away from it, it will lock. So you haven't got to really touch anything on that side of things with unlocking and locking. So that's all pretty good. And there's no reason why all electric cars can't do keyless entry, where you step in, put your foot on the foot brake, and it's already ignition good to go. You don't need start stop buttons really. It has a start stop button here, which is when you exit the vehicle if it wants to lock, or I don't know if you can see that from there, can you? Let's have a look. Yeah, you can just kind of see it a little bit there, this button here. So when you exit the vehicle, if there's passengers in there, you can actually press that and it will bring everything back on again, which of course is quite good if you've got a dog as well, or anything like that. This I think I've shown you in other videos. It's fairly basic, but it tells you everything you want to know about, I would say. It's telling me to put my belt on now, so I can't show you. So you've got your speed, it's got your speed for the road you're on, It's got your percentage there, 30%. It's got your amount of miles, which is 124. Just above that, that's the lane centering button. So I tend to have that off because it can be a bit annoying when you're going along and it just suddenly jerks off. It's got other information on there, which you can't really see from there. Here is the, down here we have the heated steering wheel right there. Voice control there. This is your volume toggle. They're going out of focus, sorry guys. See if we can get that in focus. It's got your toggle there for your volume, and then there's your volume up, your track, what you call it there. Over this side, you've got this button here which you can press, which will display different things there. Very out of focus, isn't it? Sorry guys about that. Yeah, it's got a button there for changing, so it can change you can see how much your charge was from start, how much mileage you've done, how much mileage you've done long term, how much lifetime mileage you've done, that type of thing. And then down here, underneath here, is your cruise control button. So you move this to do different things to get your cruise control on. So that's kind of how that works. And then you've got your indicator stalk up there. And sorry, not your indicator stalk, your light wipers and everything. So if you just put it up once, it will just automatically use the wiper. So what I'm saying by that is, even if we get faster rain coming along, like I did earlier, we had quite a heavy shower, it would just speed up. So it's an automatic one. You don't have to fiddle around putting on different settings and stuff. I think you can still do that, but it's not really necessary. I've not found it to be needed. I haven't done much with the lights on here because this does have the wonderful Volkswagen lights, you know, with all that technology in there, with the sort of moving headlights and everything. And you can leave it on full beam and it shines away from cars and all that sort of thing. So I'll be doing some tests on that later in the year, so you can have a look at that and see how that works. This has been absolutely fine. The system is fairly basic, but it's absolutely brilliant. I've never had any problems with it. The maps are not bad on it. I think you'd still rather use, like say, Google Maps or whatever. But the good thing with using this, of course, is it will give you destinations, and as you can see up here, it will tell you how many minutes you've got to get to a certain area and what kind of percentage you'll end up being there with as well. So that's all pretty good of it as well. I like that about it. So yeah, that's all pretty good. And then if you come across here, you can actually you know, select various places, whatever, like if you want to go for charging or whatever. It tells you the percentage you're going to get there with, how far it is, all that kind of stuff. Pretty decent actually. It's pretty good. But I won't go into too much depth. Down here, of course, you've got your climate control for your passenger, climate control for you. If you're the only person in the vehicle, this will just sort of turn off this side. It says they're eco, but you don't really get anything happening in the passenger side. So it just gives you the driver which is good energy saving and that kind of thing. That will take you through to the menu for your music and stuff like that, or connectivity. That's my Android Auto one. So I can press on that and that will bring up my Android Auto stuff straight up there with other maps, of course. That's not a bad map on there as well. That's Waze and all that kind of thing. And then this one will bring you into all this screen with all the various bits and pieces on it. But as I say, I've got a video on this which breaks all of this down and shows you all of how all this works and all the rest of it. You can have a personal mode up here. Personal mode, so you can have things up here that you want as shortcuts. So I've obviously got the lane keep on there. You've got your mode there. What's this one? I don't remember what that one is for a minute. That's your color brightness and all the rest of it for the interior. Changing your ambient lighting, which you can't see right now, but basically, effectively, it just runs along under here, all the way round, across down the door, down the back doors as well. It's quite nice. This is the loft now, which is the cheaper actual option, but I actually love it. It's this sort of leatheretty, soft fabric that goes all around the doors and around the dashboard. Gives it a nice sort of premium type feel, and it's quite nice, I have to say, and I really do enjoy that. So I'll not go into too much on breaking down everything, but I just wanted to show you the kind of basics, really. The steering wheel, I've said I've had a slight complaint with, in that I find it a little bit thin. I'd like it a little bit thicker. It just feels thin to me, you know. So, you know, in my BYD Atto 3, it's a nice wide size. It's not a deal breaker or anything like that, and it's quite nice. But it is quite a nice steering wheel, nice to hold and everything. You can get a very good position in here. You have a massage function on the one I've got here, which is just there. So you press that, it'll give you a. There's no settings for it, but it will just at least give you a bog basic function, and you've got memory seats there and everything like that. So that's all works out well for the seating. And you don't have massage on that side, but do have electrical chairs. You've got Isofix in the front and 2 in the rear. You've got 3 Isofix points. And mentioned the aircon earlier. The aircon is climate control, so the passenger can control their temperature and all the rest of it, and so can the driver, and so can the rear passengers at the back. They can control their own temperatures and whatever, fan speeds and stuff. That's quite nice, quite good touch that way. And let's just go over the real basics there of the interior of it. So what's it like? Well, it's just absolutely brilliant. It's a real driver's car. Um, if I could if I could have probably had anything put on here, it might be the dynamic chassis control. Now this is on 19 inches, and it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but you just get that little bit of a judder coming through on certain road surfaces. Um, and it can be a little bit irritating if you're on those kind of roads for a while. You feel a little bit, you know, shaken about a little bit. And it's just where it's quite firm, the setting. It's not very firm, but it's on the firm side. And so you get that bit of feedback coming through. It doesn't come through the cabin so much, but you just got that sensation there all the time, you know? And so probably, if I was to go for, say, an L-Rock, I'm thinking about maybe going for an L-Rock next year when I put my BYD Atto 3 in. And if I do go for that, I might go for the dynamic chassis control, which deals with all of that stuff. I don't see why you should pay extra, actually, for great suspension. I mean, that should be on there as standard for me, but it is an option on there, so you can have it on there. And I've driven a car when I test drove the Skoda with the dynamic chassis control, and it's absolutely brilliant. And why that's quite important is because there's a lot of sound deadening in the doors and the windows in the Skoda Enyaq. And therefore, when you're driving along, you don't hear hardly anything. It's very, very, very quiet, this car. Extremely quiet. Even if you're doing motorway speeds, you just don't hear very much. So if you have the dynamic chassis control, so the sort of the brake and suspension setup was to the level uh, that it is if you buy the added bit, if you know what I mean, that would make it absolutely perfect for a driving car. But I have to say, on motorways, on most A roads, on most decent roads, you don't even feel it, even in this car. You know, I would temper towards sticking with the 19-inch wheels. If you're someone that's really fanatical about having the really biggest wheels in your car, it goes up to 21s. But as I say before, the 19s is what this is on, which is the smallest, and it's going to give you the smoothest ride you can possibly get. And I don't think it looks bad or out of shape or too small or something like that for the car. It's about 4.6 meters. It's a long car. They're quite big cars when you're trying to get them into supermarkets and stuff like that. So you have to bear that in mind. Certainly, definitely test drive one. It's got a huge boot for 585 litres. We'll have a look in a minute. Which is one of the, not actually class leading, I don't think, but it's up there. And it's more than enough you need for any family, even if you're going away, stuff like that. You can get a roof rack on top as well if you want to. So all that type of thing. So it's not too bad. I have to keep a bit of an eye on my battery, guys. I'm getting a little bit low on battery. So, but yeah, as I say, what else can I say about the car? The driving dynamics of the car, though, are very, very good. It's very nippy in sport mode. You can get, I think it's just over 6 seconds, which is more than enough for an SUV like this. You can get that out of it in sport. I tend to drive it around just in a sort of normal comfort mode. I've never tried it on an economy mode or anything like that. Now let's talk about the efficiency, which is very, very important. On this car, it has the most unbelievable, I don't know how they do it, Skoda, but it has that most unbelievable efficiency. I have actually seen this summer 400 miles on the guessometer. Now you're not going to get 400 miles, but it's actually showing 400 miles. So it's worked out what your miles per kilowatt is, and it's averaging around about between 4.5 and 5 kilowatts, sometimes a little bit more in the summer warm weather. I know that's going to change in the winter. It'll be down to high 3s and 4s probably, but even factoring that in. So what I'm getting is, and I do want to do a test on this to do a top one, do a high percentage down to low and see what kind of miles we get, just in a straight run sort of thing. But you are getting 350. I actually went to Liverpool from where I live in the southwest and back, which is around about 135 miles there and 135 miles back. And I still had about 27% left in the car. I mean, obviously, for people around the world, you won't know what that means necessarily, but you're going to get 340, 350 out of this car, no sweat in the summer. Got a claim to 354, I think, and you will get that in the summer. You definitely will. In the winter, I don't know yet because I've not had this in the winter, so we'll see what that one comes out at. But this is a really, really lovely car, and you don't need to worry about sort of like, feathering off the thing. Trying to sort of what can I say? You don't need to worry too much about kind of driving it in such a way. I find in my Atto, I like to try and be very conservative, coming off the accelerator slowly, slowing down slowly, pulling away slowly, to try and conserve energy. I find myself doing that, but I don't need to do it in this car because it's just so efficient and so wonderful. And it's only got a 77 kilowatt hour battery, which is not class leading or the hugest by any means. It's fairly big. This is a big car at the same time, but it's just very, very efficient. So I don't know how they've done that for a big brick like this going down the road, but it is incredibly efficient for what it is. And if you're just doing your day-to-day running around and stuff like that, and going to work and back and just all the usual day-to-day stuff, I mean, you won't even be filling it up once in a whole week, maybe even possibly two, depending on how much miles you're doing. But if you're just doing your general pottering around stuff, so you're hardly on the charger with this thing. I mean, it's amazing. As I say, I went to Liverpool and back and never even had to charge it once, which was incredible. But it's just a great car. It really is. I can't speak highly enough of this car. If it's not class leading, a lot of people believe it is in the D sector. In the class D, it's up there. It must be really up there. And of course, you can spec them up. I've been over this before. You can have a lot of interior differences. You can get a tow bar on the back. You can get so many extras on here, different sound system and all those kinds of things. I just wanted the basic car, was happy with that, and that's it really. So there's probably loads more I could say about the car, but what I will do is we'll just have a quick look around in the front and back and everything, so that you can actually just see um, what it's like. So let's exit the car first of all, so you can see hopefully the locking as you exit the vehicle. So you've been here, you've been out somewhere. It might not work because I haven't actually started up and driven it, so it may not actually do it, but we'll try it. Okay, you step out the car, close the door, step away, and it should lock. Hopefully, it's going to work. No, it's not going to do it. I think it's because I've been in the car too long, sitting there, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So as I was saying about the kick sensor, which is just sort of under here, as you see, comes straight up. And you've got 885 litres in the back here, which is pretty good. But as I say, you have to be careful here that you don't put your legs too far under there if you're reaching to the back, because it does just come down all of a sudden. And it comes down pretty fast as it goes. So yeah. With the seats down, I think it's 1,700 litres, 1,745 litres of space, which is pretty good. And you've got all these hooks on here. You can see that, I don't know. Got a 12 volt there. You need a 12 volt. Got sort of cabbies there. You've got room under here for your cables, which is pretty handy. No frunk on this. Sorry guys, it's quite blustery and a bit that way today. Right, so that's in my position, and I'm 6'3". As you can see, I've got loads of room there. loads of room there, so no problem there. You've got netting at the back here. Whoops. Well, I don't think I can really do that one-handed, but the net comes up and catches on there. That's okay. But as you can see, the noise, if I open the door, you're picking up the noise there, and then when I shut it, see the reduction of the noise. So it's well sound deadened, and that's your view out to the front of the vehicle. As I said, you've got your own personal climate control down here, so you can adjust that with that one there. And you've got two USB-C ports down there for connectivity. You've got your center armrest. This doesn't have here's a slight fault, it doesn't have anything to pull this down, so you've got to wedge your fingers back there and pull it that way. It's quite a bit could do with some sort of little flap on it to pull down there, really. And then you've got your cup holders here. This opens out and you can get your cup holders in there. They look about the same, look a little bit bigger actually than the one I've got there, and a little bit back here for probably putting a phone or something back there, so while you're not using it or whatever. So that's quite handy. And then that also, I won't do it now, but it pulls, that pulls down as well, so you can get your skis in there or long poles or whatever through there without having to drop all the boot down. It's pretty good. Isofix points in the two outer rear seats. The material's been brilliant so far. I do think the BYD I've got has better washable seats than these. These, of course, are a bit more cloth. You've got to be a little bit more careful with spinning things on these. It still won't come off, I guess. I haven't really tried it. The kids haven't been in the back here too much. But they're very comfortable. These are comfortable seats. You can sit in the back of these on a long trip. Absolutely no problem. No problem whatsoever. So there's no issues that way. Very comfortable, and all that kind of thing. You got your grab house rails here. You got a coat, a hook there for a jacket or something. You got that on both sides at the back here as well, and you got grab handles all round, which is another rarity in a lot of cars. So yeah, guys, I won't go much longer on this now because this has been a bit of a while already, this video. I don't want to make it painstakingly too long. It's really hard to fault this car. I look for things and think, well, I don't really quite like that about this car, or I don't quite like that about this car. It's so hard with this car because it's just all round what you're looking for, which is a family car that does it all, really, essentially. So you can go on long trips in this car, no problem, with the efficiency and the battery size. You're going to be more than comfortable. As I say, I'm 6'3". I've got plenty of space back here. Even if I was a couple of inches taller, I would still be very comfortable back here on a long run. So I mean, that's saying something. I'm quite a big, large guy. You get three adults back here reasonably comfortably, I'd say. Teenagers definitely, and kids will be able to lounge out back here. Got a little pocket there for putting your phone in or something like that, and a bigger one at the back, putting something like a laptop in maybe, or something like that. That's all pretty good. I start doing a review of the car. That's the idea, isn't I do a review of the car because I've got other videos that do that. So I'm trying not to go into too much depth on all of this stuff. Just give you a basic feel of it. But of course, if you want to know more about the car, drop it in the comments down below, and I will always come back to you with questions and stuff like that. I've started a WhatsApp channel now, so if you email me on my email on the description that's in the channel, then I will connect you to the WhatsApp channel, and you can speak on there as well, and try to build a community of people on there. I have memberships now at 99p, so if you'd like to be a member and support me that way, I'd really appreciate it. Just 99p a month. So if you can afford to do that, I'd really appreciate it. I want to support me that way. So that's about it on that one. It doesn't have a sunroof. I don't know that any of them have a sunroof actually, but it's got quite a light liner in here. It doesn't feel horrendous in the back here, dark wise. You know, because you've got quite light seating, you've got a light headline, head, and that kind of thing. So that's all very good, really. It's really nice. And then when you get out of the car at night, it's got the Skoda logo, which shines up on the floor. That's quite a nice little touch. Yeah, it's just an all-round car. if someone's come up to me and said, what would you advise in getting in 2025 for a largish SUV sized vehicle? I'd obviously point them to a few, but I would say definitely, definitely, definitely try the Skoda Enyaq. Try it out, see if you like it, and I'm sure, and if you get one, you're going to love it, because they are really lovely cars. And I tend to fight my wife for this car. We have arguments in the morning, who's going to take it out and all that kind of stuff, and because it's such a lovely car to drive, it really, really is. And super on long runs. I've done a few long runs on it. So I've been to Liverpool, I've been to Bournemouth. I'll be going to Bournemouth again soon in it. I might try and do a video for that. I've been to my mum's in London in it, and it just breezes it all the way. It's just such a lovely car to drive, and you haven't got range anxiety or anything like that, because this thing goes on and on and on, and you sort of look down and you say, "Oh, still got 54%. That's all right." It just, if you run out of juice in this, if you run out of electricity in this car, then you need to give your head a wobble. That's what I would say about it, because it's such a good car for all that kind of stuff. So even if you're down to 10%, 5%, you've still got quite a bit of range to get yourself to a you still have like 20 miles or something to get yourself to a charger. So yeah, it's not a car you need to worry at all about in that respect. There's a good road tripper, does all the everyday stuff. As I say, the only thing is it's a large car to get into supermarket car parks with their narrow bays and stuff like that. You have to be a bit careful reversing back and stuff like that. But again, the rear view camera, which I didn't show you actually, maybe I'll do a video on the camera one day. You can see you've got your distance markers, and they're very, very good. And when you go back, say you're going into a parking space where there's a supermarket pole, you tend to get these in the supermarkets for some reason. So when you're reversing back, even if you take it up to the black line, when you get out, it's still calculating that would be enough for your boot to open up, so you don't sort of overstep that. You start going back beyond that, then you're getting too close. But just go up to the marker on it. You've got enough room to get out of the car, walk round, open the boot, take your bags out for your shopping or whatever, and close the boot again. It's not going to come up and hit the pole, as it were. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's very good depth perception, if you like, in that regard. That's great, great, great car to park actually, because of those things. I think the grade up from mine, the sport version, sport line, I think has the all-round camera. That could be quite nice. Sometimes I miss that camera at the front, just when you're pulling into places. I think, yeah, you obviously got the gauge markers, which would tell you, obviously, the alarm will start ringing louder the closer you get to the end, sort of thing. But I still would prefer a camera. So that'd be one thing, slight thing I would probably. Would I go for a sport line though? Then I don't like the interiors on the sport line. They're a lot more flashier, fancier, or whatever. I'm just happy with this loft material that's in this one. Just a nice cloth material. It looks nice and neat and tidy. It's just brilliant, really. So I don't even think I'd go that far. But a good car. Love driving it. Really do. It's a nice driver's car. It's a great hauler going on holidays with. Great for doing the day-to-day stuff in. You know, you just got to be a bit careful with it in tighter spaces, because it is quite a big car. Obviously with that big, you got a big overhang on the back there with this big long 585 litre boot. So you got to always remember a little bit about that. So that's what makes it a big car, really, is the boot, I think. And they've still given you loads of cabin space in here for taller people, so they felt kind of thought of everything. So you obviously got to remember it's quite a long car. If you do a side profile shot of it, of a Skoda Enyaq, they are quite long, you know. Even though interior wise, there's probably cars on this level, but just, you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's all round good there. So yeah, just to summarise then, which is probably my third summarisation of this video, just go down and test drive one. I really recommend you go and test drive a Skoda. They are beautiful cars. They really are. Whether you're coming into electric for the first time, shouldn't even bother you, really. So simple to drive. I mean, they're simpler to drive than a manual car, as an example. And have gears to worry about, of course. And they're just so simple to drive. I didn't show you the regenerative braking. Regenerative braking is where when you really take your foot off the accelerator, the car starts slowing down. This will slow down to a creep. so not quite stopped. But actually, I found something. I actually kind of prefer creep to one pedal, because one pedal driving can be quite firm sometimes, and it brings you to a stop quite quickly. This one brings you down to a creep, but it's strong enough to be putting power back in the battery, and at the same time bringing you to near enough that stop, and then you just got to initially put your little foot on the brake. And if you give it two stabs to brake, it'll put the brake hold on, which obviously will hold you in position. Then you just tap the accelerator when you want to pull up again. So simple to drive. So yeah, even if you're thinking it's your first car, if say you've got a Skoda Karoq or something, petrol, and you're thinking about switching over to electric, the transition will be smoothest. I guarantee you. But yeah, it's a lovely car. So yeah, I think I'll end this video now by just saying it's a super car. Well done, Skoda. This is a really decent electric car. It really is. There might be better looking ones out there. Um, go back and have a look at my original walk round cars if you want to see the style of the front. And I'm not going to do it now because it's very wet and windy and stuff. We just won't be able to hear me. And this is not really a overall. This is more about my impressions of the car. So yeah, but you'll see it in future videos, I'm sure. The design at the front and the side and the back, and how the shape of it looks. Just looks like a normal conventional car, really, with a little bit more of a futuristic design at the front with the tech deck thing, as they call it, with the light sequence at the front. So I don't think it looks, it's not. If you don't like your cars to stand out, this won't do. It won't stand out, but it that I don't want it to really, and it just drives beautiful. So you just don't even mind anyway. Once you get in here, it's a lovely place to be, and you can go on a 2-3 hour drive, stop off, go grab a coffee or something, and jump in and set off again. Because you're going to need to be in quite a few hours to actually get rid of the whole entire battery. You've put it up to 100%, which I haven't done very much of really, because I just don't need that amount of, you know, I probably should do 100. I might actually do a video, do a 100% test, take it to 100 to see what the guessometer shows us, and then we'll perhaps drain it down and see how that goes. Yeah, see how much miles we get at the end of it. Let's say you're going to get 350 in this in the summer, easy, breeze it. Might be a bit more than that, to be honest. Um, I'm reckoning in the winter you're probably looking at probably 320. Depending on just how bad the winter is, kind of thing. Because efficiency will be a bit different. You can do preconditioning on there. There's a preconditioning on the menu. So if you go into a charger, if you're not using the navigation, if you use the navigation, it'll do it automatically. But if you're just driving somewhere and you feel like, oh, well, let me top up, you can actually just go to the screen and manually put the heating on the battery, so it'll get it to the optimum temperature. So when you get to the charger, it'll you get maximum power. You get 165 on this as your top whack, more than very quick. By 20-25 minutes, you're up to, well, in actual fact, if you was low state of charge up to 80%, you probably just need about 25 minutes, something like that. And you're good to go. So go in, grab a coffee, use the bathroom, and come out, and you're ready to go. It's just not an issue. So it's a very easy car to drive, easy to adapt to. You've got no worries with it. The entertainment system's good. So everything is really all round good. So it's just the small little things, really, like I mentioned, like the cup holder's not the best, but oh, wow, what's that? Um, you know, I don't even worry about the overheating of the phone chargers, really, because you've got the plug-in ones anyway, which are faster. So I don't even use it really. So tend to throw back in a mince down on that bit, if anything. Anyway, I have really rabbited on. Sorry to make this a really long video, but I just wanted to give you my 6 months impression of this car. And I think you probably picked up from other videos what I think of it. It's just a very special car. They are special cars, these Skodas. They're really knocking it out of the park. I know they're made by VW now, but Skoda have a lot of input into how these cars finish up. Believe you me, it's not really just it's not just a Volkswagen, actually. Even though it's built on that architecture, but they have a lot of input in materials, and just loads of stuff in here are very Skoda-ish. So they are working very hard and doing a really good job. building their cars. That's what I can say. And I look forward to seeing the cars that come out in the future from Skoda. I don't know if they're going to go up to the big one. Is it the Karoq, whatever you call it, the large one? Kodiak, is it? Whatever, the really 7-seater one. I don't know if they're going to make that electric or not. I haven't heard anything. There is one coming out next year called the Epic, and there's a Vision Zero, I think it's called, which is a more streamlined car. But the Epic is going to be a more city runaround, which would be quite interesting, with a hatchbackish shape, but not hatchback, a SUV type shape, but much smaller, just more for city running. But it's still going to have a fairly good range in it, I believe. It's got quite a bit of a different look to that, more of a futuristic look. So I'll be interested to see how that one comes to the market. Should hopefully get to see some videos of that later this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that one is. So that's what they've got planned up for the future. 2 or 3 next year, I think we'll be starting to see as well from Skoda. So fair play to them. So yeah, get down to a Skoda garage, test drive one of these. If you're after an SUV, large SUV, you will not be disappointed, I guarantee you. Just caveat that one thing I mentioned earlier in the video about the dynamic chassis control. Ask to drive one when you go to a dealer. These are here to help you. So at the end of the day, they've got to accommodate you. If you say, I want to take out one with dynamic chassis control and one without, put that to them and say, look, if you've got that available, I'd like to test drive both, and drive them simultaneously and tell me what the difference is. If you do test one, I'd like to know. Well, I kind of know what the difference is, but and then you can make your own mind up whether you feel that option pack from all the packs they've got. Maybe I'll do a video one day of going through all the different packs, so you've got an idea. I don't think I've done that yet, so I might do a video about that, so you just know exactly what you're getting from every single pack. The dynamic chassis control is only available, I think, on the Sport line, I believe, or it might be on the 85, but as an upgrade, I'm not sure. But this doesn't have it, this one. And as I say, just on certain roads, it's a bit juttery, bit shuddery. It's not bad, actually. I mean, I've been in worse, so I'm not going to hammer it on that. But I think I'd prefer the dynamic chassis. And if I look to go for, say, an Elrock or even maybe an Epic next year, if that comes out to the market, I might look to adding that on the car if it comes with it, because I'm getting older now. You know what I mean? So, anyway, great to have you on the channel, guys. I do love doing these videos. I hope they're informative to you. And like I say, that's just a very brief, my thoughts of 6 months of owning a Skoda Enyaq. Top car is what I say. See you soon.